my name is Steven. I'm 23 years old. I'm a trans man. I use he, him pronouns, and we are going to cover some of the uncomfortableness that happens with, leave it, Trixie, taking gendered words out of our vocabulary and start opening it up to include trans and non-binary folk. We're also going to talk about how to ask questions in a safe place. We're going to talk about how best to create that safe space, and I think that's it. Oh yeah, that's about it. So let's start with introductions. I have dog hair in my nose. When you are meeting somebody for the first time, and the best thing to do is to introduce yourself with your pronouns, like I do at the start of every video. Hi, my name is Steven. I use he, him pronouns. It's nice to meet you. And then that person can go ahead and say, oh, it's nice to meet you. My name is Steven and I use he, him pronouns. And that's great. And now we have two Stevens who use he, him pronouns getting along, having a great time. And because that first Steven created that safe space and opened that conversation up, that second Steven, who may not have been as confident, was able to share their pronouns with this first person because that safe space was open. If someone does not share their pronouns with you, it's not a personal attack on you. Don't hound them for their pronouns because it might not be the right moment for them to share and they might not feel comfortable doing it. Think about safe spaces. If you are in a large group and someone doesn't give their pronouns, it might be because they aren't out to that group of people. So the best thing to do would be to refer to them with gender neutral pronouns, they and them. Those pronouns are, if you are not sure at all, if you have just met somebody and they have not said, I am a girl, I use she, her pronouns, or I am a boy, I use he, him pronouns, or I am non-binary, I use they, them pronouns, or things like that, please use they, them pronouns. It makes the person you're talking about comfortable knowing that you are not setting any standards on them, you are not imposing anything on the gender binary on them, and it makes the person, if you're like talking about them to somebody else, it makes the person that you're talking to comfortable to know that, oh, this person's not setting any standards on these people. They don't know how to refer to this person, so they are going to refer to them as neutrally as possible until they have more information. Yes. If you're addressing large groups of people, it is best not to say things like boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, because that creates these two boxes that people have to fit into. And if you've got a group of people this big, you know, and you address them as boys and girls, that may only cover this much of the people. And so you've got like this group of people in the middle who you're not talking to. So they will tune you out and not listen to you. Phrases instead of boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, friends. I love referring to a group of people as friends. I feel that makes them comfortable immediately. And that's gender neutral. Folks, students, if you're a teacher, y'all, if you're okay being a little southern, you really don't want to create that binary, especially if you're a teacher, especially if you work with young children who are just starting their gender identity search. They're just understanding who they are, and if you give them these two boxes only to fit into, they are going to feel lost. Somebody who is non-binary doesn't fit into that boy or girl box, and so as a student being forced to see these two binaries and you're forced to have to choose between one or another, it doesn't leave any space for learning. So just be as gender neutral as you can to include everybody and take that confusion out of their head, because you want them to listen to you and not be concerned about gender. Unnecessary gendering of people and assuming people's pronouns happens all the time to everybody. If you are walking down the street and you see someone, or if you're a cashier and you see thousands of people a day, or if you're a teacher or whatever, lots of people will, thank you ma'am, thank you sir, here you go young lady, there you go young man, things like that. And that, again, you are putting an expectation on somebody when you say that to them. If you are a cashier and you thank someone, thank you ma'am, that person, while you may have been being polite, is now like, I don't know, yesterday I went out and I had a thank you ma'am sent to me a couple times during a cashier interaction, and even though the person was really nice and really smiley, I went away feeling awful about it, just because it was like, they don't see me as the way I'm trying to present, and now my gender identity and my gender expression are all kind of like, and it was not nice. So just take that out of your language entirely. Thank you is enough. Thank you, friend. Please, excuse me, please, instead of excuse me, ma'am. If someone dropped their wallet and you're trying to give them their wallet back, excuse me, you dropped this. Excuse me, please. Describe the person with the blue coat. You with the blue coat, you dropped your wallet. Because if I hear someone screaming ma'am, ma'am, ma'am at me down the street, I am deliberately not going to turn around and look at it, because I am not a ma'am. I am a sir. So if I drop my wallet, I'm sorry. Yeah, so let's talk about some okay questions to ask people. The best way to ask how to refer to somebody and how to use their pronouns is just like that. In a safe space, which means just you and them, privately, no other people around listening. How may I refer to you? What pronouns do you use? Not houndingly. Don't go after them. If you are just meeting them, you can, offer your pronouns and hope they give theirs back. But just asking them once is enough. They will give them to you, and then you respect them. How may I refer to you is great, because you are not expecting anything in return except for that person to tell you how you can make them feel comfortable. Questions that aren't okay, like, are you trans? Are you a boy or a girl? Things like that. Don't set any expectations for these questions that you're asking, because it can be kind of a difficult subject to talk about, especially with cis people. So just kind of allow them the space in your questions to give what answers they want. Don't be afraid to mess up. It's okay, as long as you apologize, correct yourself, and move on. Don't linger on it, because then I don't want to hear that you're, oh, I'm so sorry, get a squirt bottle, squirt me in the face every time I use the wrong pronouns. No, just get it right. It's fine. You don't have to futz about all of that. Be nice and respectful about it. Another question you're not allowed to ask is about the surgery. I'm going to back up just a little bit. A phrase I do not like is in transition. When you are talking about a trans person, talk about them as they are. He, him. This is Steven. He, him. Not this is Steven. He used to be a girl and now he's transitioning to be a boy. Because for me, it's transitioning. Okay, so what's my end goal then? if you're expecting a transition. Like, what is this final transformation, this final what am I right now if I am not still Stephen using he, him pronouns? So I don't like that word "in transition" because it makes me feel like you are looking at an unfinished piece, and I am completely finished. I am just doing my best to survive. And in conjunction with that, things like surgery or testosterone or estrogen are none of your business. People don't ask you what antidepressants you are on just because you're having a conversation with a stranger. I don't ask you, you know, about how you had your gallbladder removed, you know, or about the nose job that you had, because I don't care, and because it's not my business. If you want to talk to me about your surgeries, you can go right ahead, but if I am just passing you on the street, I don't care. You're like, create safe spaces for people, and don't set expectations for them. When you are saying things, asking them about surgery, and you're asking things, or you're saying that they're in transition, you're setting expectations that they have to get these surgeries, that they're not finished now, that there is a certain goal that they have to get to in the end, and that's not true. If you are trans and you're exploring your gender expression, you are valid in this moment, and it's you're not like waiting to get to a finished goal. So instead of using the words "in transition," you can use exploring their gender. So if you're a teacher and your student is in transition, no, you have a student who is exploring their gender, and you can refer to them now as this. This is how they have told us they would like to be referred to, and so this is how we're respecting them in this moment. I think that was a good video. I think it got really good at the end. Anyways, this was fine for now. I think I'm done for the night, but I don't know how to end videos, so I'll just wiggle my ears. Can you see that?